All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we'll be going through live order flow to understand where participants in the auction process to understand where they are placing their orders. What is their behavior? What is their outlook on the market? This is the edge that we can get using order flow. By understanding their participation in the auction process, it is the only way that they can participate. It's via orders. All right, that's why order flow can give you this edge. Let's jump in to a few different things here. Tomorrow we have a webinar with me and Scott Pulsini together. It's for Tradier together with Bookmap. And you can see here how institutions move markets, an order flow breakdown. So Scott's going to go through how he, when he was trading for an institution, was trading massive size in the S&P E-mini, how he was doing it, how he was moving the markets, and then how you can spot a larger player behavior in the order flow and how you can integrate that within your trading methodologies as well. So you can use your phone and take a screenshot of the QR code here. You can come over to our Discord. This will be on our Discord, as you can see up here, Wednesday, January 21st at 1 p.m. East Coast time here in the US. Exclusively on our Discord. I can show you where it's going to take place here. Okay, if you just go over to our Discord and then you go up to right here, upcoming events, click on this and then you'll see it right here, and you can register here. Basically, you'll say that you're interested, you get a notification, and then when the event starts, you can attend. You click on the link in there. All right, so that's the upcoming event for tomorrow. And then we're going to go through our Bookmap Academy process that we do in all of these All Markets webinars. This is the process we go through. All right, it's the same as the Academy, and we're building out our playbook here. Number one is the impetus. What's moving the markets? What are the big themes out there moving the markets? We want to then look at our key levels on higher time frames to understand what the activity is around those key levels, and then we start to put the scenarios and strategies together. So for example, today, let's just say that is kind of back and forth in here. So when we come up to a level, a key level, are we looking for a breakout? No, not necessarily. I mean, we might, maybe something has changed, but we're not going to be looking for that. Okay, so we're going to be looking for fading it back into the range. Why? Because of the impetus. At the key level, we're looking at kind of a back and forth environment in here. All right, so now through our scenarios and strategies, that's just a scenario. Now we're going to come up with our setup. What is our setup? What are we looking for? We're gonna know our setups. This is something you should study or have studied. You know it intimately. You have a checklist. You grade it. You determine your risk. You take the trade based on what you see in the order flow. All right. We've talked a lot about context lately. We're going to continue that discussion and information on order flow and context between market structure, transactions, and the resting orders. All right, so this is the process in here. And this is the process that we also use within Bruce's pilot program. It's a little different than the Academy. It's a part of the Academy. It is a subset of it. And this is about building out your trading edge. If you're interested, I'll put a link into the chat for you and you can sign up. All right. Let's go through the disclosures and let's jump in. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in and we'll go through our process in here. All right, so let's zoom out here. And for those of you using Bookmap 7.6 and 7.7, both offer it here. Want to show you something you should be able to get a lot of backfill data in here. You can zoom out and really look at a lot of backfill data, a couple of years worth, in fact. All right, now how do you do that? Well, come up to settings up here and see this box down here, experimental dynamic history. Check the box there. All right, it's for both 7.6 and 7.7. Now, you will need to do a couple of different things. Actually, before you do that, you need to do a couple different things. First off, it only works with Bookmap data. Okay, so this is, as you can see here, the ES here, .cme at BMD. BMD is Bookmap data. All right, this will not work with Rhythmic. It will not work with a CQG or DX feed. Okay, it's only Bookmap data for futures. And only a few instruments in futures, ES, NQ, and RTY, I believe. All right, so another thing that you'll need to do is when you add the symbol, okay, let's just go through an example. So Bookmap data, futures, okay, CME, and then I'm going to input in here Russell, so RTY. Okay, we'll go through an example in the Russell. Now, note, this is the continuous contract here. This is the big difference. So make sure that is continuous contract. It does not have the H6 designation, the H for March 2026. So we're just going to go with the continuous contract. Now, don't do this at rollover. Well, if you do, just note the price. You'll have to note the distinction. And then let's just click subscribe. Okay. See the little circle icon here? This means this is the continuous contract. All right, so now let's let this load here. There we go. All right, and now what we can do, as soon as it loads, there we go, is we can zoom out. Okay, now I believe that it works for the Russell. All right, so let's do it. Okay, and let's continue to zoom out and zoom out. And it's going to load this data here. There we go. All right. Okay, for the Russell, actually it goes back to around July of 2025. Okay, now let's go back to the ES though. I believe it was a lot more than that. Let me zoom out. Yeah, okay, so the ES, look what I can do. I can zoom out here to December of 2021. Okay, so you see all of 2022, the kind of interest rates spike and kind of a bearish market that year, and then nothing but upside since, except for April and the tariffs in here. All right, so anyway, there you go, right? So those are the three things you need to do. Let's just do a quick review. First, you need to have Bookmap data. Second, you put in the continuous contract for Bookmap data of the ES or the NQ only, or RTY only. And then you make sure that you have the box checked here for experimental data, dynamic data. All right, those three things, and you should be able to zoom out. So let me know if you have any problems with that, but that should do the trick. All right, well, now let's zoom in and let's go through our process in here and drill into what's going on here in Bookmap and the order flow. All right, so again, let's start with our market impetus. What's moving the markets? All right, well, tariffs are back on the table. The market is, you can see, is not reacting well to tariffs. It has dropped. In fact, let's take a look at, I should be able to put in a candlestick here. Candlestick chart. Right. And let's go to here. And I want to put in, right, okay, a daily or weekly. Let's put in a daily chart here. Okay, and you can see the drop here. All right, so clearly there was kind of talk about this over the weekend. and you can see the weekend opens up. We see the drop here. First transaction happens down here. Where does it happen? Guys, this is where market structure is just so important. And we see it just day in and day out, no matter what time frame it is. And we're going to cover a lot more about market structure as well, because it is really that important. All right, so let's just draw a horizontal line. And we're looking at some of the swings in here. Okay, like 1, 2, 3. This one dipped a little bit below it. And then look where we are now. Okay, we're below that area. And we're below it on some volume in here. Okay. And we see more volume come in. Now look at today, though. We see a big volume spike here. Now this is the open, but we see the volume spike on the buy side here. But we'll take a look at this and see what we think of it. But you can see if you zoom in a little bit closer, it is the open. Everything changes here at the open, and it's kind of another thing to consider when we look at the overnight volume in context here. All right, let me see if there's any questions. I'll jump back into Discord here. Okay. All right. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shark, Steven, Trading's Life, and Dan. Okay, and no questions over in YouTube yet. Okay, great. All right. So let's jump back again. So it's not just tariffs. That's a big thing. This back and forth with there's a lot going on. Geopolitical stuff, and it's not just the economic data is minute compared to all the geopolitical stuff. All right, so we have a lot of tensions around the globe on all sorts of fronts, and uncertainty there. We also have earnings coming out, corporate earnings, the banks. Not some of them did well, some of them didn't, and that they always go first. We'll see more as earnings season unfolds. There's worry about the Fed and their independence. So what's going to happen there? And we just revisited all-time highs again not too long ago. But so it's really back and forth in here. And why I want to go through the back and forth and then our key levels is to start to understand the context here. Okay, so we just drew in this line here on the higher time frame, right up here at 69.35. Okay, there's another line right here that we should draw in, okay, and I'm going to from this. There's a couple of swings in here, okay, and look where we just tested right now, okay, is up into that area. All right, so we're still below it, even after the cash open, we're still below it. Okay, so this is bearish. Okay, now we might come back up and break through and trade up into the 35 up here. We don't know yet. Right, but we're just putting our the pieces together here. Right, and this goes along with the scenario we just outlined of trading up into areas and fading them back into the range. Okay, this kind of in the pilot program, I'll have some materials for you guys soon about exactly that. So daily plans, expectations, etc. And we'll put that together. But this is how you start to build out your plan, okay? And then you start to look for your setup. Anyway, let's see here. What else do I want to cover? Yeah, I wanted to review yesterday or Friday's activity. Okay, hold on a minute. Get up. All right. So as you guys know, we caught, like, pretty big move on Friday's webinar. And I wanted to review this and ask a question. First off, start off by asking a question. Why do you think this this unfolded? Okay, we had a few funky things in here that this was a really nice move altogether. It was like a 30 point move for us, or it would have been if you held up into this high liquidity up in here. Now, we don't know that. In fact, we talked about taking a single, hitting a single many times up at some of these small swings in here, maybe looking for a larger play up into some of this liquidity up in here. And those are great trades. You reduce your risk, you build your confidence, you look for the next setup. Now, what we just talked about in review is about the review of today, fade back into the range, that scenario. It's the same thing here that we're talking about, is the we didn't really, the environment we were in fundamentally, we didn't really have a good feel for it. I mean, it's back and forth, right? So due to that, we're looking for, buying some of the dips or, selling some of the rips. All right, so this is why this setup worked on this day, in my opinion, okay, or really helped it. Okay, because we're at a low point and we're going to find some buyers. Okay, now our key level is actually around this 68 level here. Let me go through that. It was here and a gap fill right here on the hourly. This is the hourly chart here, candlestick chart. This is the gap. This is the gap fill and from multi-day gap fill. And then I was really looking for around the 68 level. I thought we'd get a bounce, and we went lower. We went below it, and then we started to see the buying coming in. Okay, so this is kind of an odd area, I thought, on the key level. But then once we got back up above 68, it really started to take off. Now you can see that here on the chart. Okay, here's our 68 level right here. Let me. It's yellow. Okay, here's our 68 level here. And then note how we got into there and the buying back up above it. Okay, so anyone that sold down here is going to be trapped, and they're going to be getting a squeeze to the upside. All right, so anyway, the understanding this kind of context here with the key level was a little bit odd on Friday, but this is the way that I saw it, and I kind of viewed it. Usually I look exactly at that key level, and then for the order flow around it, we just didn't see anything, right? We hadn't broken the structure yet, so we stayed away from it. And until we got down here, we started to break the structure, and we started to see buyers come in, and then that's when we started to look for hitting singles up into some areas. Now, I want to go back and just, we're talking about context again. Looking at this in here, because look at the selling in here. Okay, quite a bit of selling. And do we really see that transition start to unfold here? Yeah, kind of in here. Really much better in here. Now this is zoomed out, right? We started to see it in here. And we also noted that there was another area of context here. This is very typical. Okay, before we start to get the reversal, you'll see pockets of buying here, but there's still more selling. Okay, and then we start to see a little bit more, and then it's starting to complete here. Okay, now this buying in here contextually compared to the selling in here, it's less, right? However, we also note high liquidity getting filled on the bid a lot. Okay, we noted that early in the session. This is understanding that passive accumulation. So these sellers are hitting into buyers. Okay, so now we're looking for a break of structure and buyers to start lifting the market, and for them to start to target areas of high liquidity on the offer. Right, so I want to go through this in here because like if you look at just one thing in here, the bars in here, you really probably wouldn't think there's a transition until maybe you get over here, maybe here, but you know, this is just way too late. Instead, it's the context that we're talking about in here in looking for the this transition. Okay, we want the passive accumulation or passive buyers on our side, which we had, and we're starting to see the aggressive buyers come in, lifting the market. Okay, and entry, we can go into another kind of zoom in here a little bit, and you know, we can even draw a micro trend line in here, or a smaller trend line, and this is where there was questions about entry and back and forth in here. So we started to note there was like a you know, a line and two lines that we're looking at, and we're also looking at this line up here, and that would have been our hitting our single. No, I'm sorry, our hitting our single would have been up a little bit higher. I think it was 70, which I said was our single, and that would be up here, and or 72 liquidity, but somewhere around in there. All right, so anyway, entry, just looking at this again, you know, I would have done the same thing again. I see the buyers come in here, and I see another retest back up here, and I see more buyers. Now I know there's some liquidity there, but at this point here, I'm looking for it to go up, and it didn't. Okay, we still went back and forth and rotated in here. Why? Okay, put this into context in here. Okay, do we see down here? Let me get the pen tool out. Do we see that transition that we're talking about? It's starting to unfold. Okay, looking pretty good, but it's not really that strong. Okay, so some rotations in here happened. You can see we come back up again. Now it's been 1, 2, 3, and our fourth time up in here. Finally, we get the break, and we get the breakout. Just start to note these details in here. Okay, understanding this kind of context in here is what's going to really help you. Right now, just so you guys know, if we go back in here to Discord, and you're part of the pilot program, I uploaded this file here for you guys. Okay, it's right here. Okay, you can see under the pilot program materials in here, Trendline replay files in here. Okay, it's right down here. In this file too, I have included not just the ES but the NQ and gold. Okay, so you get 3 different instruments to trade in here. Right. All right. Hope that helped, guys. Hope that was a good review, and start to understand at a deeper level some of these things. Okay. I mean, it's really important because let's just take a look again in here. Go through the replay file and start asking yourself lots of questions, okay, about like, wow, am I really looking for a breakout here? Okay, I was, and it rotated a few more times. Now, looking in hindsight or after studying this, you know, and not really seeing that massive transition unfold in here, maybe I look for another rotation. Okay, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, would I do the same thing? Probably, but like you can start to understand these things in here. And look how we broke above here at our 68 level, right? That became support. Okay, right here. And we can go back and we can zoom out into the higher time frame here, and you can see it down here. Our 68 level was right in here. Okay, all right, yeah, 68, somewhere around in there. Okay, and sorry, so it's right in here is where I'm looking for it. Actually, our 68 level is a little bit higher here, But if we take a look though, see how we broke out of that, and now we come back and retest the back side of it in here, and we're looking for again buyers coming in. Now I know we've talked about the low volume pullback trade, and is basically a continuation trade. This we'll talk more about it, but you can start to look at it right in here. Do you see a lot of selling in here? No. Starting to look again for buyers, and the buyers are here. You start to come in, you can start to take some off up here. You even get another low volume pullback here. Okay, again, look at these things in here, and these kinds of details in here. Don't just play a replay file and then that's it, and look for the next replay file. You really want to dig into the details here, and start to understand this context and the market structure, because look where the pullback came. See this little structure in here, and then the breakout and the pullback right to it. The same thing is happening right in front of us here. You'll see it again and again. See, look where we came back up here, broke out, and retested again here. Okay, this has happened now 3 times within the same move here, right, in this bigger move. All right, so anyway, guys, good stuff, good review. It was a good example, I thought. And I wasn't so sure. I was sure that we would hit a single. I was pretty sure about that. But hitting this high liquidity up in here, this is another takeaway to start to understand. When we see that high liquidity coming in here, note it. Okay, can we come up here? Can we trade to there? What is the impetus moving the markets? What is the back and forth? Okay, what about getting below that 68 key level? Anyone that's selling in there has got to scramble and become a buyer up in these areas up in here. Okay? Start to put those contexts together. Learn how to trail your stop. We covered that, and we utilized Shark's way of trailing a stop. I believe Shark is the same as Axia and a lot of other people. I mean, but good stuff, and made good sense, right? So anyway, the replay file is there. You can go check it out and replay it and ask yourself some of these questions and get into the details here. This will help your trading tremendously. It really will. It's so much better to do that than look at the live market. Okay, now what's happening now today? All right, well, we're just trading up into 6,900, the figure. Let's zoom out here a little bit and take a look. Actually, I think I'm going to, guys, I want to show you another thing in here. I have the NQ up. I'm going to X out of that, and I want to show you what, if you can do this, go with the MNQ. Just try it out. Look how the liquidity levels look in the MNQ compared to the NQ. You can see that, we've got like double or triple the amount of liquidity in the order book. So the heat map in the MNQ, the micro NASDAQ, can look better sometimes. All right, instead of like just singles. Anyway, I've been trying it out and I like it. I know a lot of you guys have already been doing it. So that's that. And see, I'm going to X out of the Russell as well. Okay. All right. See if there's any questions. Hey, Nadia. Where can you download the newest version of Bookmap? Just go into, just log into bookmap.com, and you'll see it when in the portal there. Okay, the download link. Mr. Smiles, yeah, we went through all of the kind of expectations and biases today. Earlier, I think maybe you just came in right when we were finishing up. All right. Good morning, Laura. All right. Okay. So, well, it's back and forth. I mean, the short story is, it's really back and forth. The VIX is up though. You know, I want to show you guys that because this is due to, again, this is what the market has always been responding to. It's tariffs. Okay, every time we hear tariffs, market spikes or a VIX spikes. Look at the spike over here in April. My God, this was just unbelievable. I think this was almost as big as. Okay, I mean I forget what this was here in August 2024, but this was. Okay, yeah, no, actually, yeah, COVID was the highest here. Uh, and I think COVID, this is really funny because if we look at the weekly in here, I think COVID was even bigger than, no, okay, 2008 financial crisis, it was higher. We're up at like 90. My God. Wow, 89. Hey, but look at this though, you know, this was COVID here. Just putting it into perspective, right? I mean, look at this back in April here. I forget what this was. If you guys remember what this was in August of 2024, and then you can see 2025 of April, very, very high spike, right? We went up to the 60s here. Okay, so what are we seeing now? Well, you can see we're you know, we're around 20, 18 or 20. Oh, that was the Bank of Japan stuff. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Brugesh. Anyway, yeah, we can. We're really looking for somewhere above 20 is when you know, that's what a lot of people say. Start paying attention, but uh, boy, you know, you can almost kind of read, you can read it in here. That let's go to the daily here. That you know, there was some fear kind of earlier, and then you know we get the bump, and you can see it's already collapsing here a little bit for today, as the market's moving up. Okay, so you know, anyway, maybe that's the play to take a look at. This is the bigger picture, Mr. Smiles, right? So how much do we really think? Is this just fear here, or is this the, you know, like a taco trade, you know, Trump always chickens out type of thing, and we're going to get this to collapse back down into like 16, 17, maybe back into, yeah, 16, 17 area. We don't know, right? So right now, what do we know, right? Let's take a look. Okay, so right now, what we know is, looking at the bigger picture in here, we gap down. Look where we gap down again to on the daily over here. Okay, so here, this day here was the when we saw the trend line break accumulation. Okay, it filled the gap, and it went back up above. Or I'm sorry, was it there or was no? It was here. It was here. So it was this day. In here. So, you know, this is way up here, right? So now look where we are now. We're way down below these swings down here. On the daily, we see these swings in here. Look what we did. We came all the way back down below this swing here. Okay? And look at the response now. Okay? A lot of buyers came in. Okay? This is that collapse that we're seeing in the VIX. We're starting to. Is the spike up and also the move down in the VIX that's unfolding as we speak. Okay, so what about the gap in here? Well, we haven't filled it yet. Okay, so are we still going to find buyers? Are we going to fill the gap up here? Looks pretty good, actually. So let's go through a scenario then based off of that. Okay, now this is going to be really back and forth in here. That is our outlook for the day. We have all sorts of geopolitical pressures, etc. Now we're going to look, so we're looking at kind of back and forth, but we're going to look at the order flow in here to give us some insight. Okay, so right now I don't really have too much of a good picture here. 6,900 the figure. We have tons of liquidity up in here, just got filled. Okay, now we're getting buying pressure come back in. Let me take the candlestick chart off. All right, buying pressure is coming back in. Right now, do I want to like buy a breakout here? No, I'm looking for a rotation. Okay, so market traded up into high liquidity up in here, and looking for back and forth in here. Okay, so this is where I'm saying, like, you're going through your scenarios, and then you're looking for your setup, and you're looking for order flow to support the idea. Right, I hope this is making some sense. All right, here we got a little bit more buying in here. Let's see if the buyers can bring it right back up. Yeah, they can. Okay, so now looking a little bit better. Maybe we can get back up into 05 here. You can see that we are trading up into another swing here. Okay, and then we have another one right above that at 03.5, and we have this swing at 02.5. But we're getting buyers here. So I'm looking for them to press up into these swings in here. Okay, see the buying coming in and see the structure in here. Now I'm not looking for much here. Okay, but up into this area, maybe we can get up into 05 liquidity as well. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then what am I looking for? Let's zoom out a little bit. We might get a breakout. We might come up to 10, but I would look for sellers to come back in and fade it back down into 6,900. Okay, look into where these buyers came into the market in here. Okay, we've got it right in front of us here. Okay, so buyers just came in around this area here, just around the figure basically. So we look at that. Okay, right here, and then we've got another swing down here. And you can see exactly where the buyers came in. Okay, they came in here. Okay, at this 97.25 or whatever it is here, 97.5. Okay, so Laura, for example, what I just kind of outlined was a breakout, but taking your profit because you are anticipating sellers to sell it back in. Okay, you can even take the sell side too, but like I don't see any justification for that. That is not a setup that I look at. Okay, unless I see a lot of sellers coming in and a structure break. Right now it looks more like it's a pullback on the buy side. Okay, you can see that in here in the order flow transactions. Okay, does that make sense, Laura? So we go through this. Okay, so the buyers were able to lift it. They're able to trade into and through these little areas up in here, but what do they hit? They hit liquidity, and that's as far as it went. Okay, and we don't know. It might come up into 10. The buying looks pretty strong here. But I would look for this more than I would the breakout up into 10. Okay, I know that there's a lot of volume starting to come in. Okay, but again, the environment we're in, we're looking for a fade. Okay, back into the range. Now, we just outlined another scenario as well. So take your profits and then look to enter again type of thing. Okay, now this is not a setup. These are scenarios. Okay, it's not a setup. All right, so now we're looking for, are we going to get buyers in these areas down here? Well, let's look at the order flow. Okay, we have a bid. The bid is here. I don't see a lot of buyers coming in yet though. Okay, so they're transacting. There they go. Now, I would look for buyers to come out of that. I would, because we're still kind of like in this collapse of volatility. I'd look for buyers to come in, trade back up into this range right here. We haven't even gotten to that yet, but I would look for it up into this, well, let's just call it 6901. Okay. And we can't even get there yet. All right. So we need more buyers to come in. Are we getting them? Starting to get them. Look at that big green dot. I don't want to see the green dot here though. I want to see it up here at 6,900 or, maybe 99. Yeah, Brugesh, I don't really look at the, here we go. Okay, so now I'm looking for, now we're back up again and we get buyers up again here. Okay, we're at a level where we noted the buyers came in. Okay, now again, we're going to just repeat the process in here. Okay, what's the bid look like? There's some exhaustion. Let's see if we can get, there's a little bit of a pullback. Now, if I get more buyers back up here at 98.5, I would look for the move up into 6,900 and maybe a breakout up into 02, and then maybe revisit the highs here. Okay, that's what I would look, that is the scenario I'm going through. Okay, there's the bid, here are the buyers. We've just traded into 6,900. Okay, and then you can see we just faded again. Okay, let's see if the buyers can do a little bit better though. Okay, it's another rotation. And let's see if they can come back up and get into that 01 swing up here. Hey, Laura, can you, again, it's not a setup, and I don't want to, I'm trying to be clear with this. It's just going through scenarios in here and then looking for it in the order flow. A setup comes from studying it really intensely and focusing on it. Okay, what's happening here? Well, this is a stop run. Okay, it's all these buyers looking for exactly what we were looking for, and they're getting stopped out. Okay, you can see the stop run right here. Okay, again, we're looking for this to happen and the upside here. Now, that would be scenario number one. Scenario number two is we are in a back and forth environment, and this is the danger that can happen. Exactly this. Okay, is the stop run like this. Okay, so now where are we? Well, we're down in some of these swings in here. Okay, after people get stopped out, let's go through another scenario. Okay, what if we can get up in here and get buyers around this 97 3/4? Okay, I would look for them to carry it back on up. Okay, the stop run unfolded. Okay, we know there were some buying interest in here. And let's see if we got to get back up above it though. Brugesh, about the footprint chart. I mean, basically, we're looking at the same thing in the volume dots, but we've got much more to take a look at here in Bookmap. Number one is we have the liquidity heat map. Okay, we know where the buyers and sellers are on the bid and the offer, and we have that context in here. Okay, number two is your footprint chart is going to be a bar, and then it's going to have the transactions. Okay, what Bookmap is showing here instead is every little wiggle in price action, and then every single transactions or transaction in that area as well. Okay, so we have much, in my mind, I much prefer it because I can see that context much better. If you like looking at your high volume nodes, etc., you can look at the big dots. Okay, start to note them and look for your low volume nodes as well, like up in here. Okay, you can see that this is kind of a low volume node up in here. Yep. I don't know. I kept on. I would overlay Brugesh the And I used to use footprint quite a bit, but you know, I overlay the footprint on Bookmap, and I just prefer to look at this structure here. I can learn so much more about what's happening in here with the just the best bid and offer structure and that context with where exactly the buying and selling transactions are occurring within that structure. And then I have the additional context of understanding the passive transactions in here. Okay, so look where we're heading down in here. Okay, so in this environment in here, is this a buy? I would say yeah. Okay, but now it's not a buy signal at all. I'm just looking for a scenario, and here it is right here in front of us. Okay, this is our low volume node right here. Okay, okay, are we going to find buyers in there? Let's look for them. Okay, now this is again in the environment we're in. We're looking for trading into here and finding buyers. Okay, are we finding them? Well, not yet. Not yet. Here, let's even put in a small trend line in here. And let's take a look. Okay, there's our break. There they come. All right, I'm looking for buyers now to lift it higher. Okay, get above the stop run in here. Actually, the stop run is here. Okay, buyers will probably take these guys on at 90. There they go. Now, if I can get buyers back up here at 91. This scenario here on this stop run in here, you can see it didn't work. I mean, that's pretty clear. Okay, so this level in here at this time was not as important, but this is going to be important, I think, on this time frame. Okay, so that's the scenario I'm looking for. Okay, I'm finding buyers. I'm finding a bid here. Okay, so now we had our small little trend line break in here, which we can make a bigger one. Finding our buyers. Now I'm looking for them to lift it here. Okay, 91.5 or 91.25. There they are. All right, let's see if they can lift it now. Okay, we got some support here at 89.5, and I'm looking for buyers to lift it. Okay, now I'm going to look for where I want to hit a single. Okay, where am I going to get a reaction? Well, we're probably going to get a reaction up here at 94, but I'd look for taking it up into yeah, I kind of like it up here around this 97 level. Again, you know, I'm kind of very loosely going through setups, but it's not really a setup. It's more about the scenario here in the context of the order flow. Okay, Laura, like this is not a really high probability trend line break accumulation. The trend line actually is a little bit better over here. We can draw up here, right? Not bad, not bad there. So we're above that. We broke that, and we also broke this 91.25 here. Okay, so we're looking for buyers now above that area. Okay, our expectations though are just not that high, right? Okay, so another way to deal with it is reduce your risk, reduce your trading, or just don't trade unless you see something really good. And this is a day where you don't want to trade. Okay, or maybe you want to just you know, go through replay mode and look for honing your skills and your strategies. Okay. Okay, yeah, this failed up here at this swing right here. Okay, around, we're looking for 94. We couldn't even get to 94. It came up to the right here at this swing here at 93.5, where we kind of drew that little trend line. All right, so traded into high liquidity here. Okay, our low volume node in here is getting filled in, as you guys can see. This happens in these back and forth days. Okay, we're going to trade all the way back down to here, maybe. I'm still looking for the for that collapse of. I'm going with that theme, that collapse of volatility here. Okay, so we just traded into high liquidity here at this 87.5. Right, and let's see if we can get a bid here. Okay, Brugesh, so you're using 7.7 on the Mac. All right, great. Are you using Bookmap data, Brugesh? I'm seeing a nice, now market structure wise, we're still in a downtrend. Okay, we broke this structure here and also this one here, but we didn't break the swing up here. Okay, so, and that's where these sellers came in. Okay, so this is really the next area here where we want to see buyers back up above this kind of 93.5 here. Okay, I'm going to delete some of these lines in here. Okay. You can see what we've done. We've come back down into this level here. Okay, you're using Bookmap data. All right, so great. So as long as you put in the continuous contract like the ES and you check the box here for your experimental dynamic history, you should be able to zoom out. All right, let's see if we can get it. Oh, you're on 7.6. Okay, I see. You're asking, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see the question mark in there. So you're asking if, I don't know if it's available on Mac or not. You'll have to check with support. You should see like this experimental dynamic history though, even on 7.6. So you should be good. Okay, look at that big buy volume right there. All right, so let's see if we can get back up at above 89.5 here. Looking for it. Still going with this theme of that collapsing volatility. So let's see if we can get it here. Now, to hit a single in this one up in here, I just look for it to trade up into this 93.25 area up here, 93.5, 93.25. That's it. Okay, maybe it breaks more. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, here's the next rotation. I like it. Let's see it. There they go. All right, now I'm looking for them to carry it on up into this 93 liquidity here. Okay, that was quick. There it goes. Okay, now maybe. Now this is where it gets kind of confusing. That's your single. Okay, hit your single. In this environment, we don't know, right? But now we've been seeing it kind of being duped, all the way down here. Now the buyers they have the possibility of coming in hand over fist to trade up into 6,900 here, okay, and get the short squeeze going here. All right, so if you want to play that, then just don't take your single and move your stop up. Okay. Right? That's a little more advanced in here, and it might blow out your confidence. And that's what we don't want to do. So, I recommend hitting the single day in and day out. You're going to give up a lot, but you're also going to keep, building your confidence, and it'll inspire you to keep learning and go deeper. And then when you do get stopped out on some of those things, you'll be like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's okay. I was looking for the bigger picture or the bigger move, and I've caught it many times. Okay, if you've caught it many times after hitting singles, you'll have confidence. You'll know that your setup works. You have an edge, and then you don't have to worry about you know, getting stopped out, right? Laura and Shark, well, pilot program people. Does that make sense to you, Laura? Mr. Smiles, like you probably kick yourself by taking a single here up at 93.5. But in the bigger picture, like you'll look for getting more later. We just want to not lose money and get good at the risk management part, and then look to extend it. Okay, you can look for multiple contracts. You can look for scaling in. There's tons of time for all of that. Up into this 6,900, I am looking for there to be a reaction. Okay, so yeah, I would. Well, two ways to play it. You can again just move your stop up, and in this case in here, I'd move my stop up to about here, around 92.75. Or take your profit. Okay, at the figure, or we always front run by a tick or two, right? So something like that. Okay, Mr. Smiles. All right, so you grabbed this in here. Nice. Okay, again, this is not a trading room. I hope it's in sim, and we don't advocate trading during the webinar. It's more about understanding this context in the order flow. Okay, great. So you got three points out of it. Nice. Yeah. Now see how does that make you feel? Right? You read it, you put risk on it, you put this into context in here, and you got a winner. You got on base. Great. Look what would have happened if you trailed your stop down to here. You would have been stopped out. Okay. So there you go. Right? Now we don't know that answer, right? So, and look at this, it goes all the way against you back down here. Okay. Now, talking about the kind of the environment that we're in, this is more or less what we expected. But we never know. I mean, this could have been turned into a massive short squeeze and come up to 05 and come up to 10, maybe 20. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here. Where would we fill this gap? Okay, it would be around 13, 69.13 or so. Maybe we'd see it come back up into that 20 level in between here. Look at this little space in between the price action over here and the drop, right? So there's going to be a low volume node in there for sure, and maybe just trade up into there. So around that 20 level. Nicely done. So now you built out hit a single, read it, understood the risk parameters, look for the order flow, and made a little bit of money, and now you're inspired to look into it deeper and go further with it. Nice job. See, look at this, retraced all the way back down here to where it broke out from. Now, I would anticipate there to be buyers here again. Okay, this was a pretty strong move. Look at the bars and look at the dots and look at the structure in here. Okay, the structure broke out from this range in here to come back and revisit where there were buyers. I would anticipate there to be more buyers here again too. Okay, they're here on the bid, but now we need to read the context. You know, maybe sellers just really take it here. We don't know yet. Okay, so you know, we're looking for that context again in here. Yeah, they're taking it down further. And let's see if this is where that buyer, where did the buyers really initiate? I would kind of look at this area right here around 89-ish, but we're even below that. Eight strings. No, the experimental dynamic history here is in 7.6 production version N77. Yeah, it might not be in the Mac version. Or do you have, first off, let's go through the checklist. Do you have Bookmap data? Okay. Is it CME and is it Bookmap data? Okay. And is it the ES, NQ, NQ or the Russell? All right. And then when you put the symbol in, did you put in the continuous symbol of ES or NQ? Okay, don't put the expiry month on it. All right, guys, see what I mean in here? Like this environment, here we go down to this swing here, a little bit below those buyers, but look at those buyers supporting it now, or you know, reacting to it now with heavy buying. Okay, I would look for them to revisit back up into about this 97 area here. Okay, first stop is here at 90, this 93 3/4. Okay, we're already through it. I think there's enough momentum to get up into here though, 97.5. It may be on up into the figure. We never tested the figure up here on this swing. 8 strings. Let me know if you saw it or not. You got access. How's our VIX doing? Well, this is delayed here, so it's not really that great. My view on gold. Okay, so this was, I'm sorry, over in YouTube. Yeah, we can take a look at gold. You still don't see why, from the ES chart, why price rotated multiple times, because of the environment we're in. You know, there's going to be buyers and sellers in this environment. I mean, that's the best answer I can give you right now. We're looking for, we go through some of these scenarios in here, and then we look for the order flow to support some of these scenarios. How much is Bookmap monthly? Well, you just missed our sale, but it is $49 a month or $99 a month, depending on if it's global or global plus. What could the rising CVD on the declining move, what could it mean? Well, that means divergence, right? It's a very, very CVD, be very careful with it. That's why, you know, I don't really like it. I think it can be very misleading. You know, down here though, Like there's basically, see that how our CVD is much higher here, but look at the swing down here. Okay, look at CVD over here. Okay, why is CVD up here so much? It's because all of this buying in here is much bigger than this selling in here. Okay, so there's your divergence. It's a great, I used to love it. Look at, oh, divergence makes great sense. But now this is what I would recommend, is tie that together with what we just covered. And I think you have something much, much stronger. In fact, I don't even look at CVD, but like, just put it this way, okay? Because here we are at 6,900 now, okay? And we still have momentum. Okay, now we're looking for 05 up here. Right now, I would look for a reaction up here. We'll probably get a pullback here. Okay, but we don't know. I mean, this is a lot of buying in here. All right. Anyway, let me go over the CVD and why it's divergent, and then how you can put this together with the order flow. Okay, we covered it. This is where these buyers came in. This is where price sprang up to the upside here. Okay, we covered that scenario potentially over here. Right, it didn't happen. We continued on lower. We talked about a low volume node. We talked about the zone in here, and then we started to note the buyers starting to come in here. But also, this is where we started to see them, and then we looked to hit a single and maybe go a little bit higher here. We retraced all the way back down to where those buyers came in. That is the key here. Okay, did the buyers come back in? The answer is yes. Okay, they came back in after the move back down to the swing here. Okay, that is the underlying element here. It's not CVD. I don't give a hoot about CVD. I care about if the buyers here come back in again. All right, so that's the way I look at it, looking at the order flow in here. And I think that no matter what your strategy is and the way that you trade, look for the order flow to support your idea, your theme. All right, so in this case, it did. And if you trade CVD and you look at divergence, then you've got a nice setup. All right, no matter what it is. Maybe you're looking at, your volume profiles, or we looked at a few high and low volume nodes, etc. Yeah, we'll look at gold here in just a second. Yes, exactly, Sean. Better to lose an opportunity than to lose money. Okay, look for your opportunities, and when you see them, you have to strike. You should know your setup really, really well, so that when it does present, you just grab it, go for it, and you know that you have an edge. Okay, if you don't know you don't have an edge, it's better, like you say, Sean, just let it pass. Okay, look for something that's going to give you a good move. Risk parameters on small moves. Let's see, Garfield. Yeah, I mean, it's really the same thing. I would use pretty much the same metrics in here, like below the swings in here, etc. I'm also not, since price can be, if you're looking for like just trading back up to where it dropped from up here, I would be taking my profit pretty quickly. Okay? Unless, see up here, I would think I got kind of lucky that it came back up here, because I do not see a lot of buying. In fact, look at the selling coming in on the offer, larger player in here, and I know that it's a single larger player, high liquidity. Then it pulled and went one tick lower, then it pulled and went 3 ticks lower. Okay, so look what the effect he had on price too. Right, so but if I was looking for this being a pullback and then trying to take it back up, I'd be getting out pretty quickly here. All right, guys, so let's see here. You know, what we outlined again was like taking some profit up in here. You know, maybe we get the move up into this 05 here because it's a lot of buying coming in. Look at the buying. Okay, you know, there's a lot more buying in here than there is selling. Okay, now selling is starting to pick up a bit over in here. And we just retraced back down to where these buyers in this move came in right here. Okay, let's get rid of some of these lines in here. Starting to get a little too much here. All right, this, and these in here. Okay. That one. Okay, so now the new one is here. Okay, now let's just get right in there. And where do we really see them come in? More or less right here. Around 93, and it's the same level actually. That's 93 and a quarter we've been looking at. Okay, now the swing is down here around 91 and a quarter. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye out on this little level in here. And now these are minor levels in here, right? The important swings are down below or up above. All right, we'll come back. It looks like we're chopping around in here, so we'll come back and revisit this. In the meantime, let's jump over to gold. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Here, we'll add it back in. I didn't put in the G contract here. Here. You know what I did? This is what I did. Okay, so this is actually, I need to talk to support here. I put in the continuous contract in here, right? So actually it did not work. The continuous contract does not work for it, right? It went to the F contract. Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to development support about that. I know we know it's the February contract. The G contract is what's trading, so let's add that in. In the meantime, let's go back to the S&P, and we're just chopping around in here. The strength indicator, Mr. Smiles, just updated. So I would do this, delete it, go up to your add-ons manager up here, and find the strength indicator that you said is not in here. If you do see it in here, select it and remove it. And then go to the add-ons manager here, and then scroll back down to the bottom in here, and then you should see it in here. Okay, available for install. In fact, I'm going to remove mine because it kind of messes up replay mode. But I don't have it in here. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is down here. See? Sorry about that. And you can install it here. I choose not to install it, just because it shows up default on the replay modes, and then I have to deselect it every single time. Okay, so now we dipped into our zone here. Okay, and do we find buyers? No, no buyers. Okay, what's the bid look like? Well, the bid is strong down below here. And now that might change, right? We'll see if these guys maybe pull and add their liquidity a little higher here. We're not seeing that right now. Okay, there we go. A little bit more buying. Okay, this is where the buyers came in on this big, well, on this move here. Now, the big move, they're down here. Okay, so maybe we have to go down, and this is a minor level in here. Okay, but we still get reactions at these levels in here. Okay, on a smaller time frame. That answers the question about smaller time frame as well. If this is your level in here and you're gonna play that, you're not looking for much for taking profit. Okay, you know, you look for that structure in here. Your profit taking your single would probably be where these sellers came in, or maybe a little bit higher here, and then you wouldn't have gotten filled. Okay, now let's take a look on the smaller time frame again. All right, so now how's it looking? Is the bid, they're starting to show up, these buyers? Yeah, they are. All right, so I would look for it to come back up to this 96 3/4 here. Okay, first stop is right here at this 95.5, but then 96 3/4. Now again, this is on smaller time frames. Okay, but that's what I would look for. Okay, and I would be moving my stop loss up. Nadia, what version do you have? Bookmap Global or Global Plus? You have Bookmap Data. Okay, it's the continuous contract. Okay, guys, so this failed here. That breakout in here. Okay, it's another rotation in here. Might do it again now. Right. So this is the risk for taking those smaller time frame trades. It still looks good to me. Like I still see buyers coming in here. Okay, but you know, it did another rotation in here, and it didn't follow through. Okay, now, you know, sometimes you guys have probably heard the pattern of three many times over. Now we might look for it again in here. Okay, so you know, when you're in that kind of rotation environment, look for, you know, 3 or 4 rotations, and look at the order flow to support the idea of the breakout or a breakdown. Okay, a lot of times it just comes back up into these minor levels again, and then it fades back into test the other side of that minor range in here. Okay, so yeah, Brugesh, I think you're going to have to reach out to support about that on the experimental this here, experimental dynamic history. All right, so here we are again at the swing here, okay, and we're starting to break it though, and with sellers. So sellers look pretty poised to test back down into these levels here. They're already there basically. All right, let's take a look at gold here. I'll add some backfill data here. Okay, same ideas as the S&P in terms of market structure, and then order flow within the structure. Okay, different markets, you know, have obviously they have different players and different behavior. You can see a real nice break here, and then maybe a horizontal break here, which is still kind of in play. Okay. So because it broke it, but then buyers came back up above it. Now let's see if they support it. Yeah, I just don't see enough buying yet for that. Okay. I don't see enough passive liquidity yet either getting filled. Some in here looks pretty good, but we went lower. Okay, the where this broke out from is pretty good. See where the buying really came in. Okay, we can kind of mark that up as a zone. And the swing is down here, so kind of a bigger zone in here. $2 zone. Okay, all right, we found them. Found those buyers. Okay, so back up above the swing here. That's a lot of buying. Let's see if they can come back up into 48 and then maybe 50 here. Okay, we've already pulled back. Okay, and still a lot of momentum here though, so I'd still look for this higher liquidity here on the offer. And let's take a look at our levels in here. Somewhere around in there, around the 48 level. You can see we didn't get there. And let's see if we get another rotation. And let's see it, buyers. Looks pretty good. I'd look for the buyers to lift it here. Okay, into this area in here. It just got into that zone in here. Not much traded up here though. That's for sure. Let's add another chart range. Some traded, not much. Then very high liquidity here at 47 and 40. Buyers took them on. Okay, all right. Now let's see if we get more buyers back up above it. All right, guys. Well, let's see. I think that about wraps it up. So just as a review, let's go back to the S&P. Where did we leave off on the S&P? we left off here in these minor levels in here, something like that, and they were starting to break, so we're looking for this next swing down here. You can see what it did. It went through that level, and then we got some buying coming back in. So that's a little tricky. I would imagine it's probably a stop run below that area. Not really, not much. Not much of a stop run there either. That's kind of surprising. And then buyers take it right back up to the 96 swing up here. Okay. So anyway, we're at the European close, which is going to add a little more volatility in here as well. All right, guys. Well, let me see if any more questions. You have Global Plus, Nadia. Download a couple minutes for the newest production version, and you have Bookmap data. Okay, it should work for you, Nadia. You should be able to add the continuous contract for the ES. You should be able to check the box here for experimental dynamic history. You're saying you don't have that box, right? And you have 7.7 or 7.6. No, you have 7.6. Yeah, I mean, it should show. If not, Nadia, I think a best recourse is to reach out to support@bookmap.com. Looking like a nice little flag pattern in here. You know, it's not. The problem with the flag pattern in here is that it didn't break out of this range in here. So all it did was trade up to it, but our little flag is right here. Then, it pulled back again, and then we're looking for kind of a, more buyers back up at 96. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Okay, yep. You're welcome, Nadia. Hope that they should be able to get that to work for you. If you're on Mac, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, but on PC it should work. All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Hey, hit the like button over in YouTube. You might want to come over and check out our Discord channel. Lots of materials, lots of things going on over there. There's really no cost to it. You will need to verify an email from your registration at bookmap.com. That's it though. Okay? There's no cost to it. All right. Yep. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you on Friday, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Shark. Laura, Mr. Smiles, Trading His Life, Brugesh, Nadia, Alois, and everyone else there. Okay. Yeah. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye.